Hi, welcome to another Tech Talk Monday. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Vicki Brenner. I'm a library technician with Oxford County Library, and today we're going to discuss familysearch.org. This is a genealogy tool that is global in nature and has millions of family history records that you can benefit from if family history is an interest of yours. And the best part about it is it's free. It allows you to create an online family tree that is very visual. It's very easy to collaborate with your family members to work on your family tree together. And you can print, you can share with your family members. And something else I like about it is you can message within it to other people that are also working on a shared family tree. You will have access to the Latter-day Saints database in Utah, which many people are familiar. They were sort of pioneers in the area of family history and have spent many years building massive databases of family history. In particular, they were the first ones to provide European records that were not UK in origin, which is great for those people searching for ancestors in Europe. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at creating a free account with familysearch.org and just the beginnings of how to start creating your family tree. And the best part about it is familysearch.org integrates documentation, which is something that I'm a real believer in. Every person that you add to your family tree will be documented by original records collected by the Latter-day Saints, or they have purchased access to them. You might ask about privacy. In terms of creating a family tree, only someone who is deceased will be part of the collaboration of the family tree with globally. So starting with yourself, which is generally how family trees are created, only you will be able to see that and make changes to it. So the great part about collaborating on a global basis, as you can see how interrelated everyone is and who might be working on some aspect of your family tree by marriage 100 years ago. So it's always fascinating to discover who else is doing the same kind of work that you are. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share my screen and we'll take a look at familysearch.org. So I'm just going to bring familysearch.org up for us. Okay. So what you'll need to do if you don't have one already is create a free account with familysearch.org. So I am just, I'll just show you that. You'll see in the address bar, familysearch.org. I'm at their home screen right now, and I'm going to click Create Account. And this is where they're going to collect some information from you, name, birth date, and then continue. So the next step in this process is to create a username, and then your family tree will essentially be created. So I'm going to log in now, and we can just take a look at what it looks like once you've created your account. So at the top, right along the top of my screen here, you're going to see some options. One of them is family tree. So I'm going to click on that, and there'll be a drop-down menu where you can make there with some options. So I'm just going to look at, you just take a brief look at my family tree. And you can see that living people are noted. And as I mentioned, they will be private to you only. So it looks very much like what you're familiar with a family tree looking like. There's some options here about how to organize it, that type of thing. Descendancy will be more of a generational thing, different generations, organizing it, portrait versus landscape, etc. We'll stick with landscape. And you can see the generations are fanned out. And you can, using the plus minus, you can access many other generations. You can see here, if there is an arrow, your ancestors are continuing into the past. So you can see many generations here of this family going back many, many years. So documenting all these family members starts with you. That is always the theory behind family history. Start with what you know. So there you are at the center of your family tree, and you're going to start inputting information. If we just look at my, this is where we're going to go and look. We're going to look at an individual person. And this is where you're going to start filling in some information about yourself and adding parents, etc. To do a little bit more showing how we can add records to document our people that we're adding, I'm just gonna go to a person that I've been researching recently, a gentleman who immigrated to Ingersoll from Ireland in 1847. And I've just been doing a bit of research about his family. And this is an example of how researchers add information for the greater good to familysearch.org. I can work on Peter Kennedy's family tree, even though I am not related to him. So I can build it out. I can add records to document what I am adding. And who knows, his family, long since removed, may benefit from that someday. I'm just going to move me out of the way. So Peter Kennedy, this is what the individual person looks like. And you'll see on our menu here, this is how I'm jumping back and forth between them. Now I'm going to go to tree. And we should be taking a look at Peter Kennedy's family tree. Oh, no, we're not. That's it. We'll just go back to Peter Kennedy. View tree. That's what we need to do. And we'll see what that looks like and how we could build that out further. So he's at the center of this tree because he's the person that we're looking at here. So each little reference to a person, couples are together like you would expect with family tree. Children are on a nice drop-down menu. And the generations go forward. These are the children of this pair to the left. And it can expand and expand from there. So all his children and their children to be documented further. The options menu here on the right-hand side will give you control over information record hints. familysearch.org is great about realizing what you're working on and helping you by providing hints that may get you further down the road. As you can see here, there are no parents for Peter Kennedy. So that is something that I'm sort of working on right now. And we can do that by clicking on him as a person. And just seeing, this is sort of the nuts and bolts about where you're going to be attaching resources to this person. There's information here about his birth, death, etc. his marriage and children, but no parents. Now, we can see if we can work on that. On the right-hand side, you're always going to see your research help. It's going to prompt you with sources. So let's look at this one. And this is what's going to pop up to have you look at it and assess whether this is the correct person. It's very important to make sure that you're attaching records that relate directly to your person. So what it is a marriage record for their child, whose name was Mary Kennedy. So it's providing you the actual marriage document from the Ontario government. So the next step is to review and attach. Family Search will open a new window for this process to happen, and it's called Source Linker. If you look at the top of my screen here, you can see it says Source Linker. So what we're going to go through here is we're going to make sure this information is correct before we attach it to this person. So I can see Peter Kennedy. I'm going to attach. His wife's name is Mary Shoebottom. It wants me to confirm that before we go any further. We can say attach. And we can see that their daughter was Mary Kennedy and the birth dates align. So we've got 3 pieces of information that are correct, as it should be. And the way we will go ahead here is to find out James O'Gorman. We want to attach that. I think what we're going to do here is focus on Mary Kennedy and get it attached. So we can see here we have her attached to James O'Gorman. And on the right-hand side, you're always going to see the parents and siblings. So we can see that their source marriage in Ingersoll in 1872 is there. So what on Mary's page under sources, you'll see we attached her Ontario marriage documentation. You can view the source right there. So there's a real, it's very ethical, familysearch.org. You can't attach information to anyone without documenting. So I feel that's important to sort of get things right, which is something I like about it. And the record hints I find to be very useful. Often they're correct, but it gives you the opportunity to dismiss them if they're not. So we just go back to tree again. You can see you have the opportunity to go in both directions. So you can go back into the past to see if you could document Peter Kennedy's father. It would take a bit of searching parish records in Ireland to do that. I believe his father's name was Matthew. There we go. And let's just see what happens here. And he's deceased. And say next. No match found. So it's going to take, especially Irish records, if you're familiar with that, to document Matthew Kennedy. But it's it's really easy to work on it with other family members, which is also great. Here's where you'll find messages on the little drop down here. Anybody who's added records to your family tree, you can get in touch with them. Your little notification bell will let you know, it alerts you about your ancestors' birthdays and fun stuff like that. So that's something else to explore. So try creating a free account with familysearch.org and starting your online family tree. It's great for, you can also print. I meant to mention that for those of you who like that. And it's already filled in, which is great, and it's fillable, so you can add other information as well. You can see here Peter Kennedy is filled out here. Something else I recommend is familysearch.org YouTube channel. They have tons and tons of videos about how to use their resources effectively, how to break down brick walls, how to search Eastern Europe, like legitimately difficult family history problems. Their videos are many, and I really recommend. That's a really valuable resource. They really work on producing quality content to back up their databases. So give it a try. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen right now. So that's our tech talk for this Monday. Check out familysearch.org and start the journey of exploring your family history. Thanks for joining me today.